It is.
I love it. And I got to get your prediction really quick on the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight.
Boxing. I'm team boxing, man. Gervonta Davis, of course.
Gervonta Davis?
Of course.
And who would you say is the #1 pound for pound right now in boxing?
Usyk.
Great fight, great matchup. It's fun for the sport of boxing. It makes it fun, it makes it entertaining. That's what it's all about. You know, and may the best man win. It's an exhibition regardless, it doesn't count.
The weeds for this? You part of this movement that's going on right now. Well, I got in the ring with you know, a top pound for pound fight in the world. Y'all going over there.
Alexander Usyk has issued a chilling warning to Jake Paul about stepping in with Gervonta Davis. With Tank looking bigger, sharper, and bringing that raw skill against Jake, Usyk sees only one possible ending: Jake Paul losing. In a recent dig on social media, Usyk fired back at Paul's bold 5-year plan, where Jake claimed he'd become a world champion and eventually face Usyk. But Usyk wasn't having it. "Good plan, Jake," he replied. "But I'm not here for 5th place, only 1st. Soon, I'll close the book on boxing, and after that, I'll be waiting for you in the cage." According to Usyk, Jake won't even make it past a smaller, real fighter, and he believes Tank takes that win with ease. Usyk doesn't see Jake Paul among the true boxing elite. By mocking Paul's ambitions, he reminded everyone that real fighters speak legacy, not followers, and Usyk didn't even have to mention Davis by name to make it sting. Tank already looks bulked up. His latest training clips show a heavier upper body, stronger legs, and that same explosive speed he's always had. There's a clear transformation taking shape. He's adding real mass, yet not an ounce of sharpness is gone. That's what's got so many pros speaking out. Even fans are noticing it, saying Tank's being smart, is matching Jake's size, fine-tuning his strategy, and moving like a man preparing to make a statement, a fighter ready to prove something.
In some things, I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab.
Tank has recently opened up about where his head is these days. "The headspace I'm in now is way better than where I was before. That's the only thing that matters to me," he said when asked about his mindset. He's still steering clear of trash talk, promising instead that this is going to be a real fight. Everything about him, his size, his power, the way he moves, it's all coming together. I just have to adapt. I think it's going to be a great event. Every time I fight, it's fireworks. Jake Paul, on the other hand, has finally shown a glimpse of honesty.
Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis. That's the state of boxing.
Yeah, that's
right now.
crazy.
Let that sink in.
Jake
That's
Paul,
boxing right now.
Gervonta Davis is so crazy. 135 versus 200. That is so nuts.
They're all exhibitions.
None of them are.
Yeah, they're exhibitions.
He told TMZ, "I think there's a lot being said about size, but people forget Tank is a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter. He's got power in both hands, and when it comes to skill and technique, he's been doing this for years. Honestly, deep down, I'm the most scared I've ever been before a fight." It's rare to hear a fighter admit fear, especially someone like Jake, whose entire image has been built on confidence and shaking things up.
Jake went for the jugular. Jake comes back and says, anybody that puts his hands on a woman is a scumbag, and that's you. Tank responds. In the world of responses, it was as bad as it gets. In defense of himself, makes a comparison to P. Diddy. Jake literally just puts his head down. It's like, man. And I think that Jake was thinking...
And even if Jake thinks he's just hyping the fight, Shannon Briggs seems to sense the same truth. Briggs, who trained Jake early in his career, back when he was still learning the basics like footwork, balance, the jab, and head movement, spoke with both pride and caution. "It's great for boxing," he said. "I used to train with Jake Paul. I knew from early on this was going to be big." But that excitement faded fast once the talk turned to facing someone like Tank. Briggs has shared the ring with real punchers. He understands what speed and timing can do, and Tank's got both. When the man who once trained you starts praising the event more than your chances, that should raise concern.
For a guy that's different stature-wise.
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, you know, been doing.
This guy's one of the greats. Tony Bellew didn't hold back. He said if Tank lands clean, Jake Paul's going to sleep. Bellew knows knockout power when he sees it. He's felt it and delivered it. His view is simple. Jake might have the size, but Tank's precision and explosiveness make that advantage mean nothing.
Right, I think that fight there, I think because of Tank's skill level, it's like it makes it fair, even though he's not. The weight difference is crazy. Really and truly, bro, Jake Paul should not land a punch on Tank. This guy's one of the great.
He's faced men much bigger than him and still walked them down, because his timing and punch selection are on another level. Bellew pointed out the obvious. Jake has never been in with anyone like Tank. Tank's power is the real deal. If Jake Paul gets caught by Gervonta Davis wearing 8-ounce gloves, he's going out cold. It's a harsh technical truth. You can't block that kind of snap forever. One wrong move, and it's lights out. Carl Froch believes this matchup carries real danger because of how unpredictable it feels. He hasn't called it a spectacle. He's called it a safety concern. Froch warned that regardless of weight, Tank's explosiveness could spell trouble, and Jake's habit of keeping his chin slightly up might turn costly. Gabe Rosado, a veteran who's never ducked a fight, also gave Tank his due, reminding everyone that Davis isn't just about power. He's got setups too.
He's a marketing genius, but when it comes to people that picking his fights, I can't get my head around it. If Tank hits him clean, he's going to sleep. He'll have a lot of smoke blowing up his backside by his coaching team and people like that, but when he gets hit for real, 10-ounce, well, I'm told it's 16-ounce gloves now, it's like an exhibition. Right. I'm told it's big gloves and head guards.
Tank knows exactly how to lure you into his range. Rosado said it best, he doesn't waste punches. And that's the real difference. Jake Paul depends on rhythm and straight shots, but Tank shatters rhythm. He closes the distance, forces a reaction, and strikes when you least see it coming. That's how he's been putting world-class fighters on the canvas for years. What makes this whole situation so intense is the sense that Davis has changed. Mentally, the usual distractions that once followed him seem to have disappeared. At least for now. His focus looks sharper than it's been in years. He's composed, locked in, and driven to prove something. Not to the critics, but to himself. Jake, meanwhile, still walks that fine line between showman and fighter. His transformation is real. Stronger frame, cleaner combinations. But there's still a world of difference between repetition and reflex. And Tank has lived inside that rhythm his entire life.
This face-off, Henry, what are your thoughts here?
You're hearing that shit from me. That's cringe. In some weird way, I kind of like it.
Cringe about it?
He's trying to big man the smaller guy, who the smaller guy to me is dangerous. I think Tank Davis is going to put the hands on him, but I like it, bro. I will say something about Jake Paul. He's brought a lot of attention.
Shakur Stevenson didn't dance around the question. When asked if Jake Paul had any real shot against Gervonta Davis, his answer was simple, no. When pressed again, he didn't change a word. Nope. No hesitation, no build-up, just quiet certainty. Then he laid it out with surgical calm. Size might play a role in the fight, sure. But if I'm thinking like Tank, I'm just going to go out there, outbox him, and use my ring IQ and experience against him. I can see Tank making it look real easy.
About fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight, and now he's saying about fighting Tank. Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go and do some checks and see if like the main pages have posted this, but Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta.
Then he dug deeper into the matchup. This one's not sanctioned, so technically, you can't even bet on it, he said. That's the thing. Once it's labeled an exhibition, the gambling side disappears because they can't legally allow betting on something that could be staged. He pointed out that's exactly why they turned the Tyson fight into a real one, because fans demanded to wager on it. He called this setup wacky, unpredictable, almost a circus, basically hinting that the whole thing might turn into more of a show than an actual fight.
10 3-minute rounds. I said it was 190. The fight is 195 pounds, Tank, as you know. over 10 3-minute rounds. And when Tank and Jake enter the squared circle to go to battle, they will be wearing 12-ounce gloves. 3 commission-approved, world-class professional judges will score.
Still, he offered a bit of perspective on how things could unfold if it's for real, if they are not staging it, and it's more than just light sparring. Then Tank's got a real shot, depending on the glove size, Malik Nagy said. Jake's probably around 100 pounds heavier, which is a massive difference. With smaller gloves, Gervonta could hurt Jake if he lands clean, but those same gloves could also let Jake do serious damage because of the size gap. That size difference has been the biggest talking point since the fight was announced. Fans can't believe Davis agreed to step anywhere near 190 to 195 pounds. Even as an exhibition, he spent his whole career around 135. No fighter that small has ever stepped into cruiserweight territory against a full-size opponent before. Not seriously, anyway.
Realistic shot where he could land one big punch, and Tank being so much smaller, he just can't handle the power?
Nah, not at all. I think Tank is, he's been boxing his whole life. He's been boxing since a kid, so I doubt that's going to be an issue or problem. I think Jake is good for where he's at, but I think it's just levels.
Do you see a more likely chance that Tank wins by decision?
Malik Nagy's point about the gloves wasn't random either. The official size is now set at 12 ounces, larger than standard pro gloves. That means less damage per punch, but extra padding for both fighters. It's good news for Gervonta, offering him a bit more cushion against Jake's heavier shots, though it also limits how much power he can generate from his smaller frame.
When you go get an actual real boxer, for real boxer, who is a knockout artist, who is still in his prime, and now you put him in this exhibition, this just shows me right now that the sport is officially gone, and the only hope we have is September 13th, Canelo and Bud Crawford.
Jake, on the other hand, doesn't seem bothered by any of those details. He's been hyping the fight the way only he can. On the Double Coverage podcast, he revealed there's a massive knockout bonus on the line for whoever finishes the other. He didn't drop a number but called it big money. According to Jake, if someone gets knocked out, the winner gets a big check. And even if it ends in a TKO, that bonus still applies.
It's boxing.
Maybe
right,
so.
right.
He's
So I just hope we get the Shakur fight before that moment. So for me, that Tank fight, I mean, as I understand it, Tank's fighting Jake Paul, which is the most bizarre thing ever, but I'm sure it'll do massive numbers.
Right.
And I don't know what'll happen with the Lamont Roach fight, but I just hope that...
Both fighters are stepping in with one goal, to finish it inside the distance. Jake said it himself, this isn't going to be one of those Floyd-Logan standoffs where nobody wins. Somebody's getting sleepy. And even though it's officially listed as an exhibition because of the weight difference, Jake insists that doesn't lessen the danger. It's only an exhibition because he's like 70 pounds heavier, Jake said. But when we're in there, it's real. The punches are real. The knockout's real. True to form, he kept his psychological warfare alive. Asked how he plans to win, Jake said it starts with mind games. Gervonta's mentally weak in the ring, he claimed. As soon as things don't go his way, he starts to crumble. And this time, things aren't going to go his way. He doubled down, warning that whatever Tank thinks he's prepared for, he's underestimating Jake.
I mean, and you know what, PBC has to be called out in this too. They have one of the biggest stars in boxing, and they're putting him in this farcical fight. And they are struggling for survival, PBC. I mean, they are just falling apart. You know, the Pacquiao fight did terrible. You know, terribly promoted. You know, Pacquiao was hardly available. I mean, it was just that they were too cheap to hire Pacquiao's normal.
That comment echoed what many have said about Gervonta's composure under pressure. He's known for taking his time in fights, adjusting carefully before landing those devastating counter shots. But against a much bigger, more aggressive opponent, that patience could backfire. Jake plans to use his size and high output to force mistakes early. For Paul, this fight is all about power and control.
An exhibition bout, it will not count towards their professional careers. The age is close. Jake Paul is 28, Gervonta Davis is 30, but the weight difference is massive. Paul has fought around 200 to 227 pounds. Davis dominated at just 135 pounds. Many expected Davis to fight Lamont Roach Jr. again, but instead he chose Jake Paul, a fight many say is more about money than legacy. Critics suggest
That comment echoed what many have said about Gervonta's composure under pressure. He's known for taking his time in fights, adjusting carefully before landing those devastating counter shots. But against a much bigger, more aggressive opponent, that patience could backfire. Jake plans to use his size and high output to force mistakes early. For Paul, this fight is all about power and control.
Be an exhibition bout, it will not count towards their professional careers. The age is close. Jake Paul is 28, Gervonta Davis is 30, but the weight difference is massive. Paul has fought around 200 to 227 pounds. Davis dominant at just 135 pounds. Many expected Davis to fight Lamont Roach Jr. again, but instead he chose Jake Paul, a fight many say is more about money than legacy. Critics suggest
He's already earned Tyson's respect for the power behind his punches. Now, he wants to prove he can go toe-to-toe with a top-level name like Tank, even in an exhibition. The real irony, despite calling it just business, both fighters are treating it like a statement.
Be an exhibition bout, it will not count towards their professional careers. The age is close. Jake Paul is 28, Gervonta Davis is 30, but the weight difference is massive. Paul has fought around 200 to 227 pounds. Davis dominant at just 135 pounds. Many expected Davis to fight Lamont Roach Jr. again, but instead he chose Jake Paul, a fight many say is more about money than legacy. Critics suggest
Davis wants to show that boxing is still boxing, that skill beats size and pure technique still counts. Jake wants to prove he's more than a YouTube fighter, that he can hold his own against real world champions, even smaller ones. Neither wants to leave Miami looking embarrassed, which only makes the whole setup riskier.
I think Jake wins.
Jake's just so big, dude.
I think Jake wins.
This is different because it's similar. It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but Jake Paul now obviously is way more advanced than where Logan was at that moment in time.
I mean, it's just. I mean, yeah, no, but dude,
Did
Jake.
you ever watch his highlights?
Jake can crack.
Nasty.
Shakur Stevenson has made his stance crystal clear. Jake Paul has no chance. The lightweight champion said it outright. 0 chance, without a hint of hesitation. To him, Gervonta Davis' skill, timing, and ring IQ completely erase any edge Jake's size might offer. Stevenson doesn't see Tank needing to get reckless or chase a knockout. He just needs to box smart. Size will play some part, he said. But Tank can just outbox him. I don't see him knocking Jake out. It's a calm, confident take, the kind that comes from someone who's seen enough boxing to know that power means nothing if it doesn't land. Stevenson envisions a measured fight, with Davis picking his shots, frustrating Jake, and walking away with a comfortable points win.
Ladder. But instead of giving us the rematch with Roach, he's going to fight Jake Paul. Now, this is where you have a chance to stand up as fans. Don't pay for it. Don't watch it. But we know that you're going to.
Sean Porter sees it differently. The former 2-time world champion says Tank's power is just too real to be shrugged off by size. I'm betting on Tank by knockout, he said, laughing at the idea that Davis' smaller frame would matter. Porter's convinced the fight won't last if Gervonta lands clean. He calls it deceptive power. The kind that barely looks like much until your opponent hits the canvas. It's the same punch that ended Ryan Garcia and Rolando Romero in dramatic fashion. Porter's reasoning is simple. Jake's big, but still green defensively. Tank has been catching elite fighters for years, and he believes one counter left hand will be all it takes.
Why?
I mean, I get it, because at the end of the day, it's the money business, and you want to make the most money, but from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me. And if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
There's a huge size advantage, though.
it is, but I think Tank got the skill.
Terence Crawford sees it another way. He's been around long enough to respect the laws of physics. Jake is too big for Tank, he said in an interview. If they truly go at it, one clean punch from Jake could end it instantly.
What do you think of Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis? I know on Instagram you called it a circus.
Yeah, boxing is slowly turning into the WWE. That's what I think.
Does Tank Davis have a chance?
Yes, but
yeah?
I don't even want to talk about it. Don't ask me questions like that again.
Coming from Crawford, a man who's moved up through multiple weight divisions himself, that says a lot. He knows how much even 10 pounds can change a fight, let alone 50. Crawford isn't questioning Tank's skill or toughness. is highlighting what happens when a lightweight tries to mix it with a cruiserweight. It's not just about strength, it's punch resistance, leverage, and how much punishment each body can endure. To him, if Jake lands a clean shot on Davis, that could be all it takes.
Why?
I mean, I get it, because at the end of the day, it's the money business, and you want to make the most money, but from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me, and if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
There's a huge size advantage, though.
it is, but I think Tank got the skill.
But when it comes to equipment, that's where Ford draws the line. My only concern is the gloves, because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's all training gloves, he said. To Ford, heavier gloves would dull Tank's speed and power, two of his deadliest weapons. He wants the fight to feel real. Put Tank in 8s, put Jake in 10s, Ford suggested. That makes the fight more interesting, and we'll go from there.
My only concern is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away from Jake.
But according to him, Jake's team isn't on board. I brought that up to one of his handlers, and they said, no, we don't want any mix and match. It's supposed to be an exhibition, Ford recalled. To him, that word exhibition doesn't sit right. He can wear the 10s, we wear the 8s, then we fight. That's Ford's stance. If Jake Paul really wants to face Tank Davis, make it real. No oversized gloves, no softened impact. Just let the fighters do what they do best. What do you think? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.
Wins, and it's not with power, it's not with a beautiful technique, it's just with will. It's with heart. With heart. Right. So what's gonna prevail, heart or punching power? It's